speeds is what Texas A&M is going to have to handle and get on time with today.
5'11" sophomore from Stamford, Texas will begin the Austin Super Regional with a pitch low that skips away from Reese Atwood. Ball 1 to Kennedy Powell. We're underway at 5:05 local time. It is an absolute steamer from Austin, Texas. The weather, according to the Texas Stat broadcast, is, and I quote, Charizard used flamethrower. All my millennials out there will understand that. It's up in the 90s. Let's just go with that.
Feels like temperature before the game was 104. May have even gotten warmer at this point.
Yeah, it is actually now 95. It feels like, oh, it's cooled off. 103 at first pitch. You need fans, you need towels, you need hats, you need whatever you can do to stay warm. Powell with a dribbler foul. 2-1 for the sophomore Kennedy Powell. Leadoff hitter for a Texas A&M team that is a national seed for the first time since 2018. 14th in the country in runs per game. Their strength is their collective eye. They're 15th in the nation in on-base percentage. A lot of walks, a lot of long at-bats. Powell shows butt, lays it down foul. 2-2.
Well, and they have a lot of speed too, and that's why Coach Ford, Tricia Ford, the head coach at Texas A&M, loves Kennedy Powell and Coco Woolley at the top of their order, along with Kramer Eshday in the 9-hole, because 9, 1, and 2 all have a ton of speed and a short game that puts pressure on a defense.
Gutierrez on 2-2. Sophomore versus sophomore. Powell lines one to right field. A leadoff base hit to kick off the Austin Super Regionals for Kennedy Powell.
Kennedy Powell, since she's moved to that leadoff spot, she earned to get put into that leadoff spot with the way that she was getting on base and having quality at bats. Gets her barrel down to that drop ball and is able to turn on it when she's slapping. Kennedy Powell leading off this super, and look at that energy. We are going to see that all weekend long.
Now Coco Woolley down and away, ball 1 to the junior Woolley. Coco Woolley has been on the all-time hot streak of her softball life. OPS is at 901. The batting average is a team high 389. Not a big power hitter typically. Another one in the dirt. Atwood throws behind at first, and Powell dives in safely.
Well, and the A&M base runners, when they get runners on, are going to look to be really aggressive. They have an aggressive base running mindset with the fact that Citlali Gutierrez works a drop ball, works more down the zone. Any ball that is in the dirt, they have the potential to run. They're going to be looking for it.
Coco Woolley, 16 out of her last 25. Last 10 games, 657 on base percentage, 625 overall since returning from a hamstring injury a month and a day ago. She told us yesterday this is the closest to 100% she's been all season. Woolley shows butt, and the pitch is deemed to be a little bit off the plate. Marty Abzetian's our plate umpire today. The other umpires, James Colsey III at first, Leah Dame at second, Smokey Eds. Beg your pardon, Smokey's at first, James Colsey is at third. Woolley on a 3-1, elevates one to left center, and it gets past the diving Bella Dayton. Coco's going to go into second, Powell to third standing, and Texas A&M has back-to-back hits to begin game 1.
A healthy Coco Woolley is a spark for the Texas A&M offense. She can bunt, she can slap, but here we see her keep her feet still and hit for a little bit of power too. Gets a pitch that is slightly more elevated and finds that left center field gap. We have seen Bella Dayton in her career, she's a senior now, make plays like that. So thought for a second Bella Dayton was going to have a better chance at catching that, but instead it's 2 runners in scoring position for A&M with no outs.
So Woolley with only her 8th extra base hit of the year, and a dream start for Tricia Ford's Aggies against Gutierrez and her 1.58 ERA. Now Trinity Cannon, the senior. There are not a lot of senior Aggies who've been with the program for 4 years here. Mac Morgan.
And won the big games too, but at times she's shown some nerves in big moments.
See if the visit from her pitching coach calmed her down. 2-0 to Trinity Cannon on a pitch down and in.
She's gone 2-0 on all 3 hitters who have come up for A&M.
Cannon's reached base in 11 games in a row. Tons of walks, tons of power in that stretch. Strike one and a foul tip.
She has really nasty off-speed stuff, and when she's throwing her best, her changeup is working at her lowest speed. Her off-speed curveball is working at that middle speed, but she can drop it down with her changeup at about 55.
Swing and a miss, and there's a brilliant off-speed pitch down to 60, and Cannon was well off balance. Amazing season, amazing career for Trinity Cannon. Her 4th year at Texas A&M in a big-time spot, the biggest of her career. Cannon takes ball 3.
It's a great eye, and that is not an easy pitch to take at all. She goes to that off-speed curveball 3 times in a row against Cannon.
Her average on base, her slugging have risen every season in College Station. A senior from Forney, Texas. Powell and Woolley the runners, nobody out. And Cannon hits a ball. That's foul. It's grounded off of Cannon. Or is it? No, it's a fair ball. Marty Avzishin has it out at the plate, but Cannon is saying, wait a minute, what's going on? Texas will throw to first, get 2, throw to third, triple play. What in the world? Trisha Ford is coming out to argue, though. As it stands, it's an inning-ending triple play, but Trisha Ford thinks that Cannon fouled the ball off herself.
Yeah, I think that definitely got to take a look at this. Clearly hit off of her foot. If not, I mean, that would have been a triple play. That would have been unbelievable. And it is at least something that got this crowd back into it. But I mean, it very clearly hit off of her foot. It's unfortunate, too, that A&M has to waste a challenge this early on something that is so obvious. Yeah, so that'll just be a foul ball. The runners will return back.
Coaches get 2 challenges per 5 innings. Starting in the 6th inning, crew chiefs can initiate a review, and Texas A&M is going to use up a challenge here on a ball that was clearly foul. And we'll try it again, 3-2.
Right back to that pitch, too, that she hit off of her front foot. Oftentimes when you see a hitter do that, it's on a drop ball inside, low like that. She goes back to that same 70-mile-an-hour drop ball, seeing if she can get her barrel down to that pitch. It's clearly where they're trying to work Trinity Cannon, low in the zone. See if they go off speed here on the full count.
Here's the 8th pitch. Cannon, ground ball, foul again. She and Rylan Wiggins, a couple of 4-year Aggies who were here under Joe Evans, a fantastic longtime head coach of Texas A&M. They stuck around for Trisha Ford's 2 years. Trisha Ford said, these 2 kids embody what it means to be an Aggie. Cannon, blast one, high and deep left field, and long gone. And Texas A&M is shot out of a cannon with a 3-run start to the Supers.
Trinity Cannon hit 8 home runs last year. This is her 16th in her senior season, wanting to go out with a bang. There is no bigger bang than a home run in a super regional against your in-state rival, Trinity Cannon, the senior. You know that felt good. We thought it might have been a triple play. It wasn't. She gets another chance. And instead of a triple play, it's 3 runs on the board for A&M.
Play has to be paused for a moment because the ball was thrown back over the fence and onto the field after a massive swing from Trinity Cannon, the A&M home run and RBI leader, which sends shockwaves into the folks in Burnt Orange here in Austin. Texas A&M when scoring first, 30-7. By the way, Texas has 7 losses this year, and all of their losses, they've allowed the first run. Julia Cottrell, slow ground ball. This is Mia Scott from third, and there finally is the first out.
Take another look at that Trinity Cannon home run. That drop ball was left out over the plate, and the ones before where she had hit it off of her foot and fouled off, it had some really good down bite to it moving out of the zone. That one stayed more flat, stayed a little bit more on the plate, and she was able to square it up and get it out of here.
So the second home run allowed in the postseason by Gutierrez in her 2 starts. A year ago, Gutierrez threw 5 innings of 1-run ball against A&M here in the regionals, got the win. Today she gives up 3 runs on 3 hits to start the game. That ball smoked to second. Jasmine Hill off the glove of a diving Alyssa Washington, and Hill, who's been struggling a bit, hits a 1-hop laser to second for the Aggies' 4th hit in 5 batters.
Yeah, these at-bats that A&M is putting together against Gutierrez are really locked in. You can tell that they're on time. You can tell that they're getting pitches that are out over the plate with the contact that they're making. Jazz smoked that ball, and Alyssa Washington hit off her glove. She almost was able to make that play.
Ball 1 to Rylan Wiggins. The embodiment of the Aggies, the second baseman Wiggins. She is the latest Texas A&M player to jump ahead 1-0 in the count. Everybody has 6 batters, 6 first pitch balls from Citlali Gutierrez. How much longer until Texas goes to Mac Morgan now? Wiggins misses a bunt, 1-2. By far the best power season of Rylan Wiggins, 4 years at Texas A&M. 3 for 7 with a home run in the regional round. Wiggins elevates it way out of play. Eric, thank you, and welcome to Austin, Texas, where we already have a bit of a stunner on our hands. Texas A&M, the 16 seed, leading the top seed Texas 3-0 after 1 out. And a 2-2 count on Rylan Wiggins against Citlali Gutierrez. Kevin Brown, Amanda Scarborough, and our ESPN crew. It's Trinity Cannon with a 3-run home run after Kennedy Powell singled and Coco Woolley doubled, giving the 16-seeded Aggies a 3-0 lead 3 batters into the game. Wiggins hits a little fly ball down the line and left. That is caught at short by Martinez. Throw to second will be late. It also came 3 pitches after there was a triple play called on the field. We'll explain that after the pitch to Allie Enright. Cannon fouled a pitch off her foot. It was ruled a fair ball. She didn't run because she knew she fouled it off. Texas ended up turning a ridiculous triple play. A&M challenged. The call was overturned. And then 3 pitches later went from 3 outs on 1 swing to 3 runs on 1 swing. Now a ground ball to short from Allie Enright. Martinez throws her out. And the nation's second leading offense has some work to do. She'll be an All-American, and deservedly so. It'll be Ashton Maloney, one of those sophomores, to oppose her to start. And the first pitch from Kennedy. Little low, no swing. Ball 1 to Maloney. Texas 50-7. The #1 seed in the nation for the first time. And Maloney, their leadoff hitter, hits a ground ball to second. Rylan Wiggins retires her, and Kennedy has a 2-pitch out.
And Emily Kennedy has taken such a big step forward for Texas A&M in her junior season. She's coming from the left-hand side. She'll throw a curveball on both sides of the plate, but the difference for her this year is her ability to go down and up in the zone. So being able to use more of her drop and more of her rise, spreading the zone vertically, throws with very good velocity. Coming from the left-hand side, which you just don't see a lot. 69, 70 miles an hour coming from a left-hand pitcher.
And if she is going to get that pitch called a strike, with her downward movement, it could be a long day for Texas. Tries it again, 1-1 to Mia Scott. Scott, the junior, second straight year as a first-team All Big 12 pick. She's homered in back-to-back games, and 4 of her last 6. Preseason All Big 12 first team, postseason All Big 12 first team for Mia Scott. 66 hits, 27 walks, second on the team. And Scott goes down swinging on an off-speed delivery from Kennedy.
Oh, we didn't really mention that off-speed pitch in the scouting report, did we? So 70 with their curve, drop, and rise. But then that off-speed pitch for her changeup this year, has been hit and miss. Not her best pitch, but a pitch that she's thrown about 6% of the time. If that pitch is working, it'll make her even more effective.
That is the 9th strikeout of the year for Mia Scott. Her strikeout to walk rate 1-3. You don't make Mia look that foolish unless you have truly elite stuff. 1-1 to Viviana Martinez now. Martinez with an amazing regional round with 6 out of 8, 2 walks, homered, doubled, and Martinez flares one to second. A dream beginning for Texas A&M here in Austin. The sport's first blue bloods since the super regional round, the true beginning of this format as we know it, 2005. And has made a bunch of World Series trips. They made the Champ Series in 08. They have not won it. They have not been back to the World Series since 2017. They got a 3-0 lead as Citlali Gutierrez throws her first pitch strike. It's to the 8th hitter she faces, Maya Perez. Getting her second straight start as the A&M designated player. The #3 seed in the SEC this year, Texas A&M, 16th seed overall, 43-13. They went 15-9 in the deepest conference in America. They made the SEC tournament semifinals for the first time. Swept their regional round, beating Texas State twice. Perez smacks it right past Gutierrez. Wow. A ricochet single up the middle. And these are not just soft hits. This is some serious lumber for the Aggies.
And a lot of contact, too, that's right back up the middle of the field, like this swing by Maya Perez, hoping that Citlali Gutierrez is okay. It is so difficult as a pitcher to release the pitch and then have a line drive come right back at you with the speed off the bat that Maya Perez just struck that ball with.
The only freshman in the starting lineup, Perez, with A&M's 5th hit in 8 batters. Kramer Este, the #9 hitter, takes strike 1.
Well, the interesting thing, too, looking at the numbers for Texas A&M is that they hit the drop ball well. They hit the drop ball at a .318 batting average, and the curveball, .341. That's the pitch that they've hit the best this year. Gutierrez being more of a drop ball pitcher. And then she can throw that slow curve and mix that speed in there. And that pitch that she'll throw is so different. You just don't see a slow curve the way that she spins it and brings her speed down and can elevate that pitch a little bit through the zone too. It's such a good pitch for her, and it's very unique.
Lisa Atwood yesterday admitted to us that the off-speed curve can really cross her up. Sometimes it has so much break. Those 2 battery mates are roommates, Gutierrez and Atwood. 2 sophomores, 2 first-team All Big 12 picks. 1-2 for the All-SEC Este, who stays alive.
We talk about Reese Atwood too as a hitter, but what she's been able to do defensively too with handling this deep pitching staff for Texas says a lot about her, and she has a great personality. She's a leader as a sophomore and loves to work with this pitching staff, and they love to work with her.
Two and two for Este.
And I know that that pitch, maybe even when you're watching at home, looks like a strike or that it could be close, but because the camera is off-centered, that pitch is actually even more outside to a left-handed hitter than what it appears when you see it on your screen.
That was way off the plate, 3-2.
Which on the other side of that, Kevin, is that when it pitches inside to a left-handed hitter, it's more on the plate than you might think it is. So it can be a little bit distorted with the center field camera being a little bit off, but always important to know.
Good visual guide to keep in mind for this series. On 3-2, Este takes it inside pitch, fouls it out of play. Kramer Este a .410 on base percentage, down in the 9th spot for Texas A&M. Transfer from Louisiana, a tremendous defensive outfielder who has hit everywhere but first and fourth in the A&M lineup this year. Second really long at bat of the game. The first one was a cannon home run. Este, left center field, hits it well, but Henry tracks it down at the edge of the warning track. So a good battle, 8 pitches. Kramer Este hits one deep the other way, but the fleet of foot Henry is there for the first out.
First time through the order now as Kennedy Powell comes back up for her second AB. A&M has to feel really good about the at-bats that they had against Gutierrez. A lot of solid contact. Of course, scoring those 3 runs, getting on the board first. Huge for the momentum and energy in this game.
20 swings for A&M. They've only missed 3, and Citlali Gutierrez may not get to face Texas A&M a second time through. Mike White is out with the lineup card. Her first season as a Sun Devil. Her last 2 have been as a Longhorn. There's a drop ball. Ball one to Kennedy Powell. And who did Matt Morgan play for at Arizona State? What a small softball world it is. Tricia Ford, who was her head coach her freshman year. Tricia left for Texas A&M. Mac left for Texas, and they are reunited again on the game's second biggest stage. So who does that give an advantage to? Talked to Tricia Ford yesterday, and she feels like it's a pretty good idea of what Mac Morgan's going to throw because she was her coach and primary pitching coach as well that year at Arizona State. Ground ball here to second, and Washington will tag out the base runner Perez for the second out.
When she faced A&M last year in the regional as well, so not the first time that she's pitched against her old head coach from Arizona State. And of course, Jazz Hill is also in the starting lineup, so that's her former teammate that she'll face, and a couple of batters as well.
Coco Woolley a double in the first. And another ground ball to second. Washington to first. Mac Morgan does what Mac Morgan does. Reese Atwood, number 1, though they are down 3. And now it's Reese Atwood, the centerpiece of the nation's best offense. The only hitter out of the 3 finalists for National Player of the Year, the Big 12 Player of the Year. And a big rip, 70 miles per hour away from Emily Kennedy. This is the matchup, if we had to circle one, that we were all looking forward to. Kennedy, one of the great pitchers in the country, and Atwood, who's driven in 88 runs in 57 games, the most RBIs in the nation.
We'd be looking forward to it regardless, but even more so because they're former teammates in travel ball for the Hot Shots.
Atwood with a hot shot foul. Well, they played together for 1 year. Reese was a little bit younger than Emily. She told us she really struggled to face Emily at the time. Sometimes the younger team would face the older team. They'd scrimmage, and Emily had pretty good success against Reese in those matchups. So there is an intimate knowledge right now of what Emily Kennedy's throwing and what Reese Atwood wants to do at the plate. And no surprise the count's gone full in their first meeting here. And that one is off of Kennedy and caught! Wiggins at second with a spear! Oh, wow, what a play by Rylan Wiggins.
Wow. Reese Atwood smoked that ball up the middle. And I'm wondering if did it hit off of her glove, and then that pushed it up, and then Rylan Wiggins able to catch it. I mean, Rylan Wiggins has been literally in her career all over the dirt in the infield, playing several different positions, and she is the best Texas A&M defender.
Next pitch to Katie Stewart, drilled to center field, and Jazz Hill can't get to it, but she gets to it very quickly off the wall to hold the freshman Stewart to a long single. So a base hit, but some more great glove work up the middle for the Aggies.
So much power in this lineup for Texas. I mean, when you have to face Reese Atwood and then Katie Stewart, you know that they can square up the ball and hit it far. Jazz Hill, not a great read on that, but because it was hit so hard, Katie Stewart ends up having to say it just first base.
First base runner for Texas. And now their captain, Alyssa Washington, with another first pitch swing.
Well, and they're already having better swings this inning off of Emily Kennedy, and that's why that Reese Atwood, that foul ball that went straight back, the first strike in her AB was a statement, I think, to the rest of the team. Like, these are the types of at-bats that we can have, putting together good ones and good swings right here.
Washington, a powerful low ball hitter who's hit 9 home runs this season. Her previous career high was 5. She had 5 home runs this March in a 7-game stretch. That's inside for ball 2.
Emily Kennedy went 3 up, 3 down in that first inning. She really just cruised through. So for Texas to make a statement with these ABs, really starts to bring a little momentum to them. This game is a game of momentum, and as a pitcher, even with foul balls and how you can tell a hitter is seeing the ball out of your hand, you know when they're starting to get more on time and starting to see the ball better already in the second inning. Texas making adjustments.
Washington goes after a high one, 3-2. See the letter C on the chest. Alyssa Washington, the first official captain in Texas softball history. Great contact hitter. Only 10 strikeouts on the year. And she stays alive, 3-2.
I like the way that her teammates talked about her being a captain with just so much respect and calling her a safe haven. Really good communicator, and she talked about too actually feeling a little bit more free after being named the captain.
That's high, ball 4. So a line drive laser caught by Wiggins, followed up by the first hit and the first walk. And Texas has 2 on with 1 out for Jolie Mitchell.
Same page, knowing that every pitch is so critical in the postseason.
2 on, 1 out for the designated player, Mitchell. Notre Dame transfer. More gaudy numbers deep into the Texas lineup. 487 on base, slugging 646. Mitchell, right field. That ball's going to get down in front of Enright for a base hit. And Jolie Mitchell loads the bases. 3 consecutive Longhorns have reached with only 1 out.
Jolie Mitchell, not necessarily the biggest, hardest swing that you've seen, but just getting to contact on the outside corner, kind of flipping it out to right field and own the bases for Texas.
The freshman Caden Henry in the 8th spot. Henry, first pitch swinging. Cannon at first will go to the plate and get the lead out there. A 3-2 fielder's choice for out number 2. And now the 9-hitter for Texas, Bella Dayton. Going to get something out of an inning where the Longhorns have had great at-bats. Dayton with an RBI and 4 straight. Takes one low.
There's just no let up in this Texas offense. Very similarly to how we've talked about OU's offense the past several years, that 1 through 9 can beat you, that have high averages, that can hit for power and drive in runs.
Popped up by Dayton. That will get out of play.
Texas is that same way. They have the power, they have the speed, they have the good eye and the discipline at the plate. They truly are a complete offense, 1 through 9, and then some on their bench. Coach White has a lot of different options.
In the dirt, strike 2. Bella Dayton not close. And Emily Kennedy is on the verge of getting out of this mess unscathed. Washington, Mitchell, and Henry the runners. Dayton swings and misses, strike 3. And Kennedy escapes with her second strike. Significant difference. She has proven to be the right leader for Texas A&M. All kinds of milestones this year. You got seniors in the 3 through 6 spots, some transfers, some like Cannon go to program for 4 years. And they have really coalesced. And here they are, the number 16 seed with a 3-run lead, thanks to this young woman's big swing in the first inning.
You think about, I think in year 1 that Trisha Ford took over, they were picked to finish last. They ended up finishing 8th. This year they're picked to finish 8th. They ended up finishing 3rd.
Strike 3, inside edge. Matt Morgan punches out Cannon for Texas's first strikeout.
Well, and to me, the bottom of the zone is now starting to get called. She got a couple of calls on her drop ball right at the bottom of the knees that were not getting called in inning 1 and inning 2. Got ahead of Trinity Cannon and then was able to jam her there looking on a pitch about belt high, like a low rise.
And right back around there. Little inside for Julia Cottrell. One of the impact transfers for Texas A&M, Julia Cottrell, most experienced postseason player on the roster. And Cottrell grounds the ball through the right side past Stewart. Julia Cottrell is the 6th Aggie with a hit.
When Mac Morgan's in the circle, you see a lot of balls hit on the ground, a lot of these barrels getting the top half of the ball, and Julia Cottrell able to hit it hard enough to get through that 3-4 hole on the ground.
So here's Jazz Hill in the dirt. Atwood whipped on it. A wild pitch, and Julia Cottrell will take second. Well, a couple of former teammates get to face off now. Hill and Morgan, both at Arizona State, 2022. As we mentioned, they were under Trisha Ford there. Trisha Ford goes to Texas A&M. Jasmine Hill finds her way to Texas A&M with Trisha eventually, and Mac Morgan found her way to Texas. This is a microcosm of something Trisha Ford said to us, which is there's no intimidation factor because our players have played with or against so many of these Texas players their whole lives. And here are 2 players who played with each other in the Pac-12.
You think about entering the season entering the series, being the 1 seed, you have all the pressure. I mean, you are the 1 seed. Everybody is gunning for you. And then being the 16 seed going up against the 1 seed, you really kind of get to play on house money. I mean, if you win, nobody was probably really expecting you to win other than your fans and your family and your own team. But if you lose, it's like, well, that's kind of what we thought was going to happen, that the 1 seed would advance to the World Series.
It has happened twice before that a 1 seed has lost in a super regional round. Only twice, but it's happened. 2010 Alabama, 2016 Florida. They're year 2 since the super regional format 2005. Hill with a ground ball to second. Washington's been busy since Mac Morgan came in the game as Cottrell takes third with 2 down. So Rylan Wiggins has an opportunity with a runner at third and 2 down. 4th-year Aggie starting at second base. I'm not sure I've ever met a player who wants to get to the World Series as desperately as Rylan Wiggins does. She has been there 3 times as a fan. 2021, 2014, and way back 2009. Wiggins pops it up. And Martinez makes the play. And Cottrell is stranded at third.
More vertical separation with their rise and drop is what has led to Emily Kennedy's success.
Strike 1 to Ashton Maloney. That curveball is her most important pitch and always has been. So Tricia Ford this offseason said, you can't throw it. She took away the curveball to develop her other pitches and said Emily had a 24-hour freak out. And then said, okay, I can do this. She's been well schooled, well trained. Her parents, Pat and Christine, are both educators. Tricia felt like they really helped her. And her pitching coach, one of the all-time great Aggie pitchers, Megan Gibson, who was the first Aggie, or was the last Aggie, to win Conference Pitcher of the Year back-to-back weeks in 2008 until Emily did it this year. Megan, her pitching coach, senior year at Lake Creek High School. Maloney with a dribbler foul.
It's why she wears number 11. It's why her changeup got better working with Megan in the offseason, working to get that pitch better. And Emily Kennedy has thrown a lot. I mean, she has not only been the ace, she has been the go-to time and time again, coming in relief, coming to close games. Coach Ford has used her a lot. And I like the conversation that Coach Ford told us how about at the end of the season, Emily told Coach Ford that she wanted to be an All-American. And so Coach Ford ran the stats and said, look, All-American-wise, this is what it has looked like the past few years. And they knew they needed to increase her strikeouts.
Maloney toward the middle. Let's field it on a hop at short by Willie. There's the first out. We check in the studio with Matt Schick. Matt, thank you. It's our first full day of Super Regionals. Party got started last night with Oklahoma run ruling Florida State and UCLA run ruling Georgia. Right side stared at first by Cannon. Off the bat of Mia Scott, another rocket finds leather.
A&M has already had a lot of good defensive plays on the dirt in this game. This is a line drive hit right at Trinity Cannon and positioned well, a little bit off the line. We've seen a diving play from Rylan Wiggins off the glove of Kennedy. And then that play before the studio break that Coco Woolley had, just more off balance, had a lot of athleticism behind it too. This is a Texas A&M defense that has taken a step forward. So between Emily Kennedy taking a step forward and their collective defense taking a step forward, it has made a difference, the amount of wins that they've had and how tough they've been.
Defensive run saved. A&M has stepped up in a huge, huge way this year. Very, very athletic team in the field. That ball to second, routine for Wiggins. And Kennedy has retired the top of the order in order twice today. Offensively to start the game against Gutierrez.
Yeah, it's the same every, all year long. Get a good pitch, be on time, get your A swing off. So we did a really good job of that in the first inning.
Coach, how would you describe what it's been like to work with and coach Emily Kennedy this year?
Oh, man. Just honestly, she just makes me so proud because I know what's in her, and to be able to see her grow last year and even more this year, it's just been fun, honestly.
Tricia Ford, we appreciate your time. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks and gig 'em.
I'd say it's fun to coach Emily Kennedy. Just a wild guess, but it's certainly been fun to watch her today as she's mowed down the top of the Texas order twice. A 3-0 lead for the 16-seeded Aggies, trying to become the third team to knock off a #1 seed in the Super Regional since 2005. Ball one, Mac Morgan to Allie Enright.
I think that Mac Morgan has done a really nice job of entering this game, and when she enters a circle for Texas, to me it kind of brings a sense of calmness because she has this consistency about her throughout her career that you just know what you're going to get. She does not let the moment get too big. She brings that same drop ball every single time that she goes out, throws with good velocity, and she's just a gamer. She is a bulldog, wants the ball in the big games.
1-1 for Allie Enright, #7 hitter. Mac Morgan was a very high recruit out of college, or out of high school. Creighton, Missouri, was the Missouri Gatorade Player of the Year. Went to Arizona State. Third team all Pac-12 as a freshman. One of her most notable games of freshman year. She threw 6 shutout innings February 25th, 2022 against Texas. Not a surprise that Mike White wouldn't have wanted her when her name went in the transfer portal. Enright elevates one to center field, and Henry puts her away.
You think about, Kevin, all the different looks that Texas has on this pitching staff with adding Tegan Cavan to their pitching staff as a freshman. Now you have to prepare for Mac Morgan's drop. Now you have to prepare for Citlali Gutierrez's off-speed curve. Now you have to prepare for Tegan Cavan's rise. That one additional look makes prep for hitters that much harder.
Maya Perez a single her first time. That was against Gutierrez, who faced 9 batters. Inning and a third, 5 hits, 3 runs. And you can see A&M's had a little bit of a harder time with the new pitcher. However, they did their job against a starter with 3 runs early. Seems likely we'll see Tegan Cavan tomorrow, but who knows how the rest of this game is going to play out.
Well, and how nice was it last weekend that they played 3 games in the regional and had 3 different starters for every game. And oftentimes you see a team like Texas A&M who's going to rely more on one pitcher, on one ace. But for Texas, they really have 3 different ace starters that they could go to at any point in a series.
They also have Estelle Check, who's pitched mostly in relief, has a 1.61 ERA. And helped pitch Texas into the World Series 2 years ago. There she is. They also have Sophia Simpson, who threw a complete game at Arkansas, Game 3 of Supers in 2022. Who's only thrown 22 1/3 innings this year. That's the kind of ridiculous depth that Texas has, with the Longhorns returning their whole staff from last year and adding Cavan, who was a Big 12 Freshman of the Year. 3-2. And Perez hits a ground ball to Washington. The Women's College World Series returns to Oklahoma City in 2024. Action will begin Thursday, noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, live on ESPN. For more information on the 2024 Women's College World Series, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. One of these teams will be there playing in 6 days. It's a pretty quick turnaround. One of these teams is going to be there in 4 days. It's not a terrible drive from Austin up to Oklahoma City. You've made it before.
Yeah, about 5 or 6 hours. But 35 is the worst, and that's what you have to take to get up there.
You driving this year or you flying?
I'm driving.
Driving? You should live stream that road trip into the World Series with Scarborough.
To sit in traffic and just talk softball.
Yeah, for sure. Because knowing you, you're probably going to talk softball with somebody anyway on the 6 hours.
The tough part about that drive is that there's no softball to watch.
And you shouldn't be watching something while you're
listening
driving.
to.
Yeah,
You know.
very good.
You know
good
what
recovery.
I mean. There you go.
Este, ground ball to first. Stewart snares it. It's another good. Gets the game 1 start. Why'd you like Sitlali, and then what'd you see out of her today?
Yeah, well, we thought her change of speeds would be able to work pretty well, but unfortunately she just wasn't able to command the strike zone, got behind a little bit. But now Mac Morgan's in there and doing a great job for us and holding them at bay.
Coach, what are you seeing in your at-bats against Emily Kennedy today?
Well, we're getting a bit unlucky. We've hit some balls really hard. We've got to continue to do that. You know, she's a good pitcher, so we've got to be patient, you know, and get balls in the zone and hit them hard like we're doing. Just hopefully a couple of them fall.
Mike, appreciate the time. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Hey, thank you. Hook 'em.
Mike White, the Big 12 Coach of the Year, and here is the Big 12 Player of the Year. When he talks about unlucky, he's maybe specifically talking about Reese Atwood, who drilled the ball off the glove of Emily Kennedy. Looked like it was headed for Emily Kennedy's face, and her self-defense deflection popped up behind second for Rylan Wiggins to make a diving catch. So these former travel ball teammates lock horns again, and Reese takes one low.
I think the way that Coach White talked about coaching Reese Atwood and how she just is continually learning. She is so driven to be the best and loves a challenge and loves working hard. And of course you have to be when you put up the type of season and numbers that Reese Atwood has this year with her home runs and RBI. I mean, she had a good year last year as a freshman, but the year that she's had this year as a sophomore has been out of this world.
There's an off-speed pitch on 2-0. Last year for Reese, 11 home runs, drove in 43. She's doubled her home run number, and she's doubled her RBI number +2. Texas record for both. Reese Atwood, Texas's first Big 12 Player of the Year since Taylor Thom a decade ago. Lindsey Stevens and Taylor had the previous Texas RBI record. It was 66. Reese has shattered that by 22. And she is on with a walk. And for the first time tonight, Texas has the leadoff runner on. And Mike White's going to insert a pinch runner for her before Katie Stewart's at bat. It'll be Adea Wallace running for Atwood. Wallace in her 41st game this year, primary pinch runner. So from Atwood, who set the Texas RBI record, to Stewart, who set the Texas freshman RBI record. Her teammate, Vivi Martinez, had 52 last year. Stewart has broken that by 1. And she has crazy, crazy power. Broken window power, Katie Stewart. She told us that in high school, she hit a fly ball that soared beyond the fences and hit a runner at their track. And the building you just saw is where she sometimes hits balls to, but here she hits nothing as Kennedy collects her 3rd strikeout.
This pitch is moving up and away from Katie Stewart, almost like a screwball, rise ball action, gets her to chase off the plate, and that chase is going to lead to that strikeout. Went right at her.
Washington on the next pitch, out to Enright. Eastern on ESPN2. You can catch both games there and on ESPN Plus with a championship game on Memorial Day. Jolie Mitchell single to right her first time. Texas has come back from down 3 runs twice this year. They were down 3-0 to Baylor in the first inning and 4-0 to Louisiana in the first inning. Won both those games. Longhorns, though, are 0-6 when trailing after 4 innings. Good pick by Cottrell to hold the runner Wallace.
You see Emily Kennedy using that changeup a little bit more, able to locate that pitch through the zone, tried to see if she could get Mitchell to chase that pitch out of the zone, and she held up.
The inside couldn't help her swing. Mitchell goes down. Texas is 0-6 when trailing after 4, and they're going to have to rally again. Oklahoma and Georgia, UCLA. And then Oklahoma State, Arizona, Stanford, LSU. 6, 7, or 8 games tomorrow, all 8 today at Texas A&M. Off to a tremendous start to open this Austin Super Regional as Kennedy Powell reaches with her second hit. Well, Mac Morgan has come on and thrown well. 2 2/3 out of the bullpen. 2 hits, no walks, 1 strikeout. Now Coco Woolley. Woolley lays down a bunt, and it's foul. Boy, does Coco Woolley have energy. Just a crazy amount of energy. Her plan when she's at the plate, she told us, is I want to get into the dugout as fast as possible because it's hot out there. And she's one of the fastest, most energetic players in college softball. Great base stealer as well. We asked her why she is such a great base stealer, such a good runner. She said, I used to get bribed when I was younger. If you steal a base, you get McDonald's for dinner. If you steal a couple of bases, you get $50. Her mom finally said, I got to stop. I'm going to be broke. In the left field, this is Bella Dayton. And Woolley is retired right on the line for out number 1. And the moral of this story is, parents, it is okay to bribe your children. Hope that's what everybody takes away from this.
Especially if it's for athletic reasons, I think. And
Especially.
academic.
But McDonald's chicken nuggets, you know.
Yeah, she loves the chicken nuggets. So do I.
Here's a home run hitter from earlier, Trinity Cannon. Powell delayed and got back to first just in time.
And she was pretty far off of first base, too, when she saw that ball in the dirt. That's why she's smiling a little bit, knowing that she got by with one almost halfway down.
Cannon unloads again. Deep center field. Holy Trinity! A 2-home run, 5 RBI game from Trinity Cannon. There's her Aunt Reviswar Daggett, the happiest person in the park. Up go the bubbles in the A&M fan section, and it is 5-0, the 16-seeded Aggies.
Coach Ford said that Trinity Cannon has impressed her this year because she's just been a student of the game. She is understanding her swings and what she needs to do, what she needs to attack more this year than any other year in her career. Unleashes the power. Now 2 home runs for Trinity Cannon in this game. 1 was to left center and 1 was to dead center field. She knew it off the bat. The leader, the senior, the home run hitter strikes again.
Next pitch to Julia Cottrell, deep right center field, and Henry will get to this one. You know, we were at the SEC tournament a couple of weeks ago. We had Texas A&M and South Carolina, and South Carolina decided they were just not going to pitch to Trinity Cannon. Now, there have been runners on base, so it's a little harder for Texas to do that, but I don't know if Trinity will get a pitch to hit the rest of this series the way she's swinging it. A 2-home run game for the 4th-year Aggie. And a strike to Jazz Hill.
Well, and I think the crazy part, too, Kevin, is that in her career in the NCAA tournament, Cannon was only hitting 147 and had not hit a home run. She's hit 2 home runs in this game.
To third, good short hop pick. The second 2-homer game of Trinity Cannon's career. The first was against the University in Trinity's room, and Trinity ended up staying with her siblings. There's a terrific story Rihanna Pocky wrote in D1 softball, and then we talked to Trinity about this more yesterday. But Revis had a tumor removed August 1st, 2018. She considers that the date of her survivorship. So her 5-year anniversary of her survivorship was last year, August 2023. Here we are, May 24th, 2024. And she is the loudest, the craziest, the highest leg kicking fan wearing Aggie colors. And her niece has hit 2 home runs and driven in all 5 for A&M. That ball's fouled down the line and left. Here's a little sampling. This was Auntie Revis on the last home run by Trinity.
Yeah, she's had a lot to cheer about for A&M and especially for her niece. I mean, she is the biggest cheerleader for Texas A&M. She says, I always try to do all I can to take out the negative vibes. She just wants to be her crazy self and share life and laughter and spread belief. And Cannon had said to Rhiannon Pocky, I love this quote, that she, talking about Revis, is a true inspiration to me. She was on her deathbed and never let it kill her spirit. She kept me going on and off the field, and because of her, I know softball isn't who I am. It's just a part of me.
Right side, here's a ground ball from Caden Henry. And Revis going to have one more thing to cheer about as Emily Kennedy gets Caden Henry to start the bottom of the 5th.
It's a big celebration for Trinity, for Texas A&M, a celebration of life that she is here. And what joy and what an amazing spirit and story for Trinity's aunt.
So here is Texas A&M with a 5-run lead over the #1 team in the country. This is the second time all season Texas has been down 5 runs. The other was against LSU, 5-0 back in March in the non-conference. Texas did rally in that game, but they ended up falling short. Lost the game to LSU 7-4. It's the only time the Longhorns have trailed by 5 all season.
Well, and I think that it was big that Texas A&M played here on this field against Texas last season, and that Texas ended their season. You become more comfortable playing at that same field with more pressure and the postseason vibes. Not that every single player was here, because there's a few transfers that were mixed in, but the good core of the team was here last year in the regional final game.
Lost 11-5 and then lost 2-1 here in Austin. That's low. That's ball 4 to Bella Dayton. Third walk of the game issued by Kennedy, and Texas has a 1-out base runner. So if it's going to start for Texas, it's probably going to start now with the top of the order. And Ashton Maloney, who's grounded out twice. Sophomore Maloney has either batted 9th or 1st for most of the season, and they moved her into the leadoff spot about a month ago. She's got a .479 on base percentage since moving into the leadoff spot. Texas is 18-1 in the 19 games with Maloney as a leadoff hitter. Squares to butt again, lays it down foul.
Always a player too, because she had been in that 9 spot for Texas and all the other big names. You just kind of overlooked her despite hitting the high 300s, and then this year in the low 400s. You just were so distracted by all the other players that she kind of flew under the radar. And then now in the leadoff spot, she's taken over that position and has still brought that consistency to the top of the order.
Mike White said they didn't put her there early because she didn't have a great slugging percentage, not a lot of RBIs, but ultimately she gets on base. Such a great table setter. Here's a ground ball chopped down to short. Willie makes the play at second, retire the lead runner Dayton for the second out. Mia Scott with 2 down.
given when you looked at Texas's offensive numbers coming into this game, they have just been on the go, hitting over 400 as a team their last 8 games. And honestly, it really seemed like them winning that OU series was a big turning point for them. And they were playing well before, so when you say turning point, it's not like things were off the rails and that the series win against OU got them back on track. It just kind of fueled them and took them to another level in all aspects of the game.
They win a series against Oklahoma. They win their final 2 games here at home. Mike White did not love the way they started the postseason, beating Siena 5-0 in the regional opener. So he had to read him the riot act a little bit. Didn't love the energy in the dugout. They haven't had great energy today because they've been down 3-0 before an out was recorded. Where's the juice going to come from for Texas? They've really had one good inning offensively today. The second inning where they loaded the bases, hit a bunch of balls hard, but been a pretty quiet evening in the Longhorn dugout. For what was the highest scoring team in college softball outside of Miami, Ohio. Two strikes on Scott. Mia Scott lofts one in the right. Allie Enright is there. Texas A&M is 2 innings away. 5-0 A&M. This has been a real shocker of a result so far. Probably not if you're Texas A&M. We met with a bunch of Aggie players yesterday. We met with Tricia Ford. They were confident. They were loose. They were undeterred. Texas with the overshift on against Rylan Wiggins. Now, we've all of us who work in the business, we've all been in production meetings, and we've all had Zoom calls and conversations with players and coaches who seem confident, and then you go out and you lose your confidence right away. But A&M's got the edge. They got that Tricia Ford edge that a lot of her great teams have had. They are experienced. They have seniors in the 3 through 6 spots. They have Emily Kennedy, who's thrown a ton of innings for 3 years. They've pretty much done everything except get to the World Series, and they have just played with a chip on their shoulder, which is where they thrive, according to Tricia Ford. They're the underdog when they have a chip on their shoulder. She wanted them to enjoy the hard, and I think when you talk about Tricia Ford, the hard practices they go through, the offseason conditioning, this team is incredibly well conditioned. Mentally, physically, they are built for moments like this. Wiggins into that shift, and the shortstop Martinez throws her out.
And she dropped a lot of good one-liners too, of enjoy the hard, and also who she wants to bring into the program. She talked about wanting to recruit athleticism, but this was the line that got me, is that we recruit the insides.
Yep.
Felt like we can develop and teach a skill set at the plate, in the circle, out on defense, but we want kids who won't back down and who love to compete.
Down to third from Enright. The first game of their regional, Texas A&M beat Albany 6-2. Tricia Ford used the word debacle when describing that game to us. She said, when we play that way, it crushes my soul. She felt like the moment got to them. First time for these players hosting a regional at Davis Diamond. They were maybe a little overwhelmed. They beat Texas State 1-0. Bats weren't great, but the defense and the pitching were. Then they blasted a really good Texas State team 8-0 in the regional finals. So they have not allowed a run right now, working on 3 straight postseason games.
Well, and I think that 8-0 win on Sunday was huge for their confidence at the plate. This is a team that can hit and can score a lot of runs, but at times that offense would just go away. And even the win on Saturday against Texas State and Jessica Mullins, they won just 1-0. And Jessica Mullins should be an All-American this season. Had a tremendous year at Texas State just down the road, but that 8 runs that they scored on Sunday could have been something that woke this team up and gave them confidence to head here to Austin.
Maya Perez has singled and grounded out to second. Maya Perez has become a big part of this. Had a hit in the regional final Sunday. Just her second time this season starting back-to-back games. First since February 29th, March 1st. Those were against Long Beach State and Weber State. These have been against Texas State and Texas. Here's a 3-2. And it's ball 4. Perez is on for his second time with A&M's first walk.
I think that Mac Morgan has had the most success against these hitters when she's owned the inside corner. And in innings 3 and 4, that's what she was doing her best when she entered this game, is that she was attacking the inner half, getting them to take a lot of pitches. I think also that the pitch that she'll throw inside to both righties and lefties, you expect it to drop and fall off the table more, and instead it stays a little flat. It's coming at 70 miles an hour, and it's a little bit more up in the zone, and it's frozen the hitters a bit.
Haley Golden checks in for Perez as the pinch runner. And the all-SEC left fielder Kramer Este will bat.
Well, the hitters told us too for Texas A&M that they really worked hard on their preparation for the Texas pitchers. They actually used a VR headset from Win Reality and had Texas pitchers pitching to them that help them work on bat path instead of just talking about it and hearing about the spin and the speed and the locations that these pitchers throw. Actually being able to see it with the virtual reality headset so that it helped them prepare for this weekend.
One of the other things A&M did, and this was the brainchild of Jeff Harger, the hitting coach, they had 2 3-0 for Este.
I will say this is a funny note from earlier this year, but Coach Ford said about Jeff Harger that we like to keep things simple, but with the drills that you explained,
Yeah.
Being on blocks and the stool and all that, like that's not really simple. I mean, it is, but it isn't. So just a funny little note about different drills and individual drills that he'll set up for different players. But you did say he liked to keep things simple, but after you talked about the wooden blocks, I'm not sure if that goes anymore.
Yeah, past tense. He liked to keep things simple. Then they got to the Super Regionals. 3-2 for Este. Golden on the run on 3-2. Este sprays one the other way. That ball's going to get over the head of Dateman off the wall. Henry throws it in. Golden's coming home to score the 6th Texas A&M run. Kramer Este and Texas A&M are loving every minute of this game 1.
Kramer Este had the pitch before that she took. That was a pitch up in the zone, and it was almost like, oh, that was a good pitch to hit. And then Mac Morgan brings her a drop ball that just stays flat, just does not get down enough. And Kramer Este inside outs that swing and almost hits it out of here. I mean, that was about a foot or two from being a home run. What a slide by Haley Golden, too, for the 6th run scored for Texas A&M.
Pinch runner at the right time for Tricia Ford. And if not for this 10-foot high wall, Kramer Este might have had her 2nd home run of the year. As it stands, it's her 8th double. This is now the largest deficit Texas has faced all season. Powell with a 2-out bunt. Powell is retired at first. One more for Texas.
Because it was just a tough play at first base. It didn't look like it had any intention. Kennedy Powell was just trying to get down the line, and Katie Stewart were in the position that she was in, and it was in an awkward position to catch that throw.
Yeah, it's a little hard for us to tell, obviously, intention of what's going on from up here. That ball's flared into right. Base hit for Vivi Martinez to lead off the Texas 6th.
So you'll see the position that Katie Stewart is in with her left foot all the way down on the ground, and Kennedy Powell just trying to get to the base. And try to get to the front of the base, but we've talked about it before with the safety bag, and it's a prime example of why it could be a good option at first base.
Yeah, so you think that's just a long stretch by the base runner, not a dirty play in all likelihood?
I don't think it was dirty because it's such a bang-bang play. I mean, all she's trying to do is get to the bag as fast as she can.
Well, as if Texas and Texas A&M didn't have enough heat to it, now we have multiple ejections, and it's only game one. Now, both teams really downplayed the rivalry when we talked about it, but they did say you can feel the energy, and that it's not a softball rivalry, it's a school rivalry. The fans are going crazy, the emotions are high. It's a winner-go-home weekend. And Texas is just trying desperately to get back in this thing and take this Lone Star State softball showdown with Reese Atwood in a 3-0 count. And the Texas fans finally starting to show signs of life. And Atwood walks. So a base hit and a walk against Emily Kennedy. And the Longhorns have 2 on, nobody out for the first time today. And Katie Stewart, who found herself perhaps in the middle of that mess at the end of the top of the 6th, will bat in the bottom, with Texas desperate for some offense. Good time for Trisha Ford to take the circle. Good time for us to get to match Chick. Matt, there is nobody like you to be our own personal TV guide and internet guide in 2024. Thank you, sir. Here's Katie Stewart. First pitch swinging on the ground is short. Woolley goes to third and gets the lead runner there. Coco Woolley's played a flawless game on the middle infield.
I'll tell you what, it is so loud here right now, and Coco Woolley decides to get the force out at 3 because the ball was kind of taking her that way. So instead of trying to turn the double play, just gets the force out at 3 for an out, just trying to calm down this very loud Texas crowd. And this maybe a couple of minutes ago is the loudest that I personally have ever heard it here. And I've called a lot of games here.
Yeah, you've been basically the voice of Texas softball at times. Imagine how much louder it could get if Texas can get a few runs on the board. The capacity here at Red and Charlene McCombs Field is 1,254. I'll go ahead and make a bold statement. There are more than 1,254 people around this facility. They've got air horns attached to power drills. The bleachers in the outfield are jammed. There are people hanging over the outfield wall. There are people who feel a little more careful now that Katie Stewart's not at the plate, watching in the building across the way. The secondary market was pretty hot. It was a tough ticket to get here in Austin for this series. Texas A&M 5 outs away with a 6-run lead from a Game 1 win. Washington, left center field. Hill drips back and makes the play. 2 on, nobody out has turned into 2 on, 2 out for Emily Kennedy.
It's a big out, too. The first 2 reaching, 2 on, and nobody out, making a couple of defensive plays. And this is why at the beginning of the year, Kevin, you set out to not only host a regional, but to be a top 8 seed. That was a mission for this Texas team this year. That was one of their goals. Is a home field advantage in a super regional, and the atmosphere and what it feels like to play on a field and type of a crowd like this. You want them to be on your side.
2 on, 2 out for Mitchell. 1 ball, 1 strike. Emily Kennedy has looked unflappable in the middle of all the emotion. We asked Tricia Ford about her pitching staff. She said, we may have to piece it together at times. I'm known to do some crazy things, but Emily Kennedy's of the mindset she's throwing every game, every inning. In the dirt, that's ball 3.
And Texas has seen more pitches here in this last inning, trying to work the count a little bit more. She was really cruising through the first 5 innings, but up to 91 with her pitch count now.
3-1. Mitchell whips it toward her own dugout. She was way out in front. An inning where Texas has to get something. And they get the bases loaded. 5 walks in the game, handed out by Kennedy. 2 in the inning. Longhorns load them up for Caden Henry. Perhaps not for Caden Henry. Here comes a pinch hitter for Mike White. It's going to be the freshman Victoria Hunter. Well, she is Texas's best pinch hitter, largely off the bench this year. She's 14 for 35 with a .543 on base percentage. And Hunter, wearing sunglasses, is thrust right into the spotlight. First pitch swinging in the air, right center field, grand slam! Hunter off the bench, Texas onto the scoreboard, and it is alive here in Austin.
That is a freshman. 1 pitch, 1 swing, 4 RBI to get within 2. A grand slam when your heart is pounding. The fans are loud. This freshman, wow, what a moment. A pinch hit, grand slam for Hunter. Amazing moment.
Victoria Hunter has 15 hits on the year. 7 have gone for extra bases. 4 are home runs. And in one mighty swing, a seismic shift in the mood here in Austin, Texas. Victoria Hunter, who is not going to take those sunglasses off probably when she goes to sleep tonight, has the Longhorns right back in the game.
It's going up, knowing what to expect, knowing what she's throwing, being prepared, and just having ultimate belief in yourself.
Dayton to the right side. That is just foul. Only the 9th home run Emily Kennedy has allowed this season. 1 out away from taking a 6-0 lead to the 7th, and Hunter has the Horns' 4th grand slam of the year. 2-2 for Bella Dayton. Just the 6th time in 41 games that Emily Kennedy has allowed 4 runs this season. Dayton right side, that's a fair ball. And Texas, in a game it trailed 6-0. In an inning it trailed 6-0 with 2 outs. It's going to bring the tying run to the plate. And Mike White's going to see if Lightning can strike twice with another pinch hitter. This will be Katie Simmons after Dayton reaches base for a 2nd time. Hard to imagine Emily Kennedy coming out of this game, but it's also hard to imagine Texas get a pinch hit grand slam off Emily Kennedy. So Vestal and Ackerman, the 2 righties, are up. Simmons with 3 home runs on the year. 403 on base, 519 slugging, and she takes strike 1.
Well, this is when you look back at this inning, and a lot of credit to Vivi Martinez for starting things off, but the 2 walks have just come in to crush you.
1 ball, 1 strike to Simmons. Was a Big 12 all-freshman pick a couple of years ago. The crowd behind her. 2-1. When we talk about Texas's depth, this is what we're talking about. Victoria Hunter might start anywhere in the country. Katie Simmons, Big 12 all-freshman team. Big part of the team a couple of years ago. Both coming off the bench. Simmons out in front of the off-speed from Kennedy.
It's a depth on this team that Coach White has applauded all season long, and has said this is the deepest team that he's ever had, especially offensively.
The 2-2. And Simmons puts it in the air to right. Alley and right makes the play. Texas A&M has the lead going into the last. Turned a whole lot more tense. It hadn't been this close since that 3-run homer for Cannon. And Texas A&M is not satisfied with 6. Coco Woolley with a leadoff bunt base hit to get the Aggies back on track in the 7th.
Yeah, I think with the momentum that Texas grabbed in that last inning with the grand slam and cutting this lead down so much, it's important for Texas A&M to try to grab some of that momentum back offensively in this inning, especially where they're at in their order.
And hard to pitch around Trinity Cannon now. And Matt Morgan basically hits her in the foot, gets a stare down from Cannon on the way to first. 2 pitches, 2 base runners for the Aggies.
Trying to work her low and inside, getting right in her front foot. You see after those 2 home runs, getting hit by that first pitch, that little stare down there. But now A&M has 2 on with nobody out.
Tricia Ford's going to bring in a pinch runner for Cannon. And Trinity Cannon flex into the Aggie fans on the way out. 2 homers, 5 RBIs, and now reaching on a hit by pitch for Trinity Cannon. And it's 2 on, nobody out for Julia Cottrell. Not used to bunting as the cleanup hitter. Only 1 sacrifice on the year. And she will look to swing away.
She's a birthday girl, and so is Emily Kennedy. So a little birthday battery for Texas A&M. Oh, you hear somebody in the background. Get your birthday girl.
Good stop by Atwood, holds the runners. Sav Price has come in to pinch run at first for Cannon. Woolley at second. Cottrell 1 for 3, base hit in the 3rd. Grounded foul, 1-2.
Hey, what a day for the Cottrell family, huh? Her dad, Jeff Cottrell, coaching a super at Missouri as their hitting coach at Mizzou, and it's Julia's birthday, and she's playing in a super. What a day for the fam.
It was a tougher day so far for dad than it's been for daughter. Missouri lost 6-3 to Duke on its own field. Tigers are going to have to win 2 straight to get to the World Series. Julia's Aggies have never trailed. Trying to add on here in the 7th against Mac Morgan. Cottrell down to 3rd. Fair ball. Grabbed at the base by Mitchell. Goes to 2nd. It's a double play. Jolie Mitchell just came into the field this inning. She had been the designated player, and she immediately starts a double play.
Ball always finds you when you play that new defensive position in a game, and plays it well there to get 2 outs on 1 pitch. This was a major play for the Texas defense to take that momentum right back that A&M was trying to get.
Washington was trying to get a triple play at the back end there. Jazz Hill off the glove of Morgan, picked up by Morgan, and this time there's no catch by a fielder off a pitcher's glove, so Hill literally singles off of her former teammate, and that moves Cottrell to second.
It's a good sign too for Texas A&M that Jazz Hill is starting to see the ball better in this game. Now it's supposed to be on the outside corner. It bled back and right into the swing path of Jazz Hill, who has now hit 2 balls in this game right back up the middle of the field. That was well struck again.
And she was 1 out of her last 16, Jazz Hill. She's got 2 hits today. And Mike White's going to come talk to Mac Morgan. There has been some action in the Texas bullpen. Terre Haute to Oklahoma City, which is about an 11-hour drive. So they could watch the 2009 Women's College World Series in person. And Wiggins is hit. Second hit batter of the inning. Bases are going to be loaded for Allie Enright. And do you stick with Mac Morgan here for Mike White? Kavana has certainly been throwing long enough. You think she's ready. Mike White's going to stick with Mac Morgan. Face Enright for a 3rd time.
Losing a little bit of her command in this inning with a couple of hit by pitches, and then that pitch by to Jazz Hill that bled back over the middle of the plate, didn't hit a corner.
And right 0 for 3.
It's like a pivotal at bat here with the bases loaded and trying to get at least 1 run as you head to the 7th, or the bottom of the 7th.
2-0. Texas has the 2, 3, 4 hitters in its lineup coming up. Coming off a 4-run 6th inning. With Emily Kennedy to face them. Two and 2.
It's a pitch that I think Mac Morgan has thrown so well today. It's hard to tell the movement that it even has, but if you're a drop ball pitcher, you're expecting that pitch to fall off the table, and it stays flat on the inner half about belt high.
It's way out of play off the bat of Allie Enright. Snapped out of an 0 for 15 in the regional final with 2 for 3. Huge jump offensively this year, her 2nd year with the Aggies. Trying to extend the A&M lead with Cottrell at 3rd, Hill at 2nd, and Wiggins at 1st. A 6-4 lead for the 16 over the 1. Bases loaded for a 2-2. And Enright stays on it.
Allie Enright is a player that is just taking such a big step forward offensively this year with her power, slugging percentage, batting average, all the things. A hard worker whose hard work has paid off this year.
7th pitch. Swing and a miss. What a time for Mac Morgan's 2nd strikeout. Best lineup in the country. It's 2, 3, and 4. It's Mia Scott. It's Viviana Martinez. And it is National Player of the Year finalist and the nation's RBI leader, Reese Atwood. Hold on to your you-know-whats. 2-0 for Mia Scott. Texas has not come back to win a game it trailed by 6 in 2 years. March 19th, 2022, the last time they did it. That was a 7-0 deficit. They beat LSU 11-10. That was in mid-March. This is in late May. Scott on base 12 in a row, but she's 0 for 3. And she takes strike 2. She's hit the ball hard her last 2 times. Right at first and right at right field. She struck out swinging in the 1st inning. Scott pops it up. Foul territory. Cottrell made the catch. Right up against the wall for out number 1.
It is such a big out. Mia Scott is absolutely electric and can beat you offensively in so many different ways. So to get an out and keep her speed off the base pass is huge for A&M. Julia Cottrell, no errors on the year for Julia Cottrell, and she's been so sure-handed. That's a big one.
The birthday girl secures the first out for the other birthday girl, Emily Kennedy, who fires in a dart to Viviana Martinez. Martinez started that 4-run sixth with a single. And quickly falls behind 0-2. She needs to reach for Reese Atwood to have a chance to tie it.
Vivi Martinez, too, Kevin, has been so good this year, and just her ability to hit the ball to all parts of the field.
Had 11 plate appearances in the regional round. She reached base in 9. She's not been in the lineup all the time this year. Did come off the bench a few games. She missed one, but now she's Texas's 3-hitter. Trying to give Atwood a chance to tie it. And Martinez lofts a fly ball into center. Jazz Hill at the warning track's edge makes the catch. And Texas A&M is 1 out away from a Game 1 victory. So the best Reese Atwood can do is give Texas a chance to tie it. The only hitter out of the 3 finalists for National Player of the Year. Atwood, deep left field. That ball is demolished. Texas will have a chance to tie it, thanks to Reese Atwood's 23rd. It's 6-5.
I don't love the pitch call here, but props to Reese Atwood for taking advantage of this changeup that is left up in the zone and right into the wheelhouse of Reese Atwood. She's looking to hit. She's not looking to walk. She's expecting. She wants to get something up in the zone. And that is a pitch that she has hit better this year, is that off-speed pitch, an adjustment that she has made to lead to the year that she's having this season.
Reese Atwood told us in travel ball she would go, wow, that's Emily Kennedy. Was never successful against her. On the biggest stage there is just about in college softball, she has been. 2 walks and a home run, and now it's Katie Stewart. 12 home runs, the most of any Longhorn not named Reese Atwood. 1-1 from Kennedy to Stewart. Swing and a miss. And A&M needs 1 more strike.
You cannot come inside to Katie Stewart in the sit-back.
Swing and a miss. She went outside. She wins it. Emily Kennedy and 3-0 for Este.
I will say this is a funny note from earlier this year, but Coach Ford said about Jeff Harger that we like to keep things simple. But with the drills that you explained, being on blocks and the stool and all that, like that's not really simple. I mean, it is, but it isn't. So just a funny little note about different drills and individual drills that he'll set up for different players. But you did say he liked to keep things simple, but after you talked about the wooden blocks, I'm not sure if that goes anymore.
Yeah, past tense. He liked to keep things simple. Then they got to the Super Regionals. 3-2 for Este. Golden on the run on 3-2. Este sprays one the other way. That ball's going to get over the head of Dateman off the wall. Henry throws it in. Golden's coming home to score the 6th Texas A&M run. Kramer Este and Texas A&M are loving every minute of this game one.
Kramer Este had the pitch before that she took. That was a pitch up in the zone, and it was almost like, oh, that was a good pitch to hit. And then Mac Morgan brings her a drop ball that just stays flat, just does not get down enough. And Kramer Este inside outs that swing and almost hits it out of here. I mean, that was about a foot or two from being a home run. What a slide by Haley Golden, too, for the 6th run scored for Texas A&M.
Pinch runner at the right time for Tricia Ford. And if not for this 10-foot high wall, Kramer Este might have had her 2nd home run of the year. As it stands, it's her 8th double. This is now the largest deficit Texas has faced all season. Powell with a 2-out bunt. Powell is retired at first. One more for Texas.